Hey Insiders, we've got a very special guest joining us here today who has recently just graduated from our flagship course LMA, and she's graciously going to be coming on here today to share her experience from start to finish and everything else in between. And I guess before we dive in, would you mind telling everybody what's your name and where you're currently based in the world?
Hi, my name is Melissa Johnson, and I live in Huntsville, Alabama, USA.
Brilliant. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for dedicating some of your time to come here and have a little bit of a chat. And before we dive into all things LMA, I just kind of want to rewind back to the very beginning to before you joined LMA. And I'm just curious to know what were some of the biggest struggles and challenges you were facing in your life prior to joining the LMA program?
Um, I struggled a lot with procrastination,
Hmm.
and I was on the search for something that would give me a breakthrough. I was already on a journey of self-discovery, self-improvement.
Hmm.
And I saw Tim's video on YouTube,
Hmm.
and it really struck me. His story struck me,
Hmm.
and so I immediately signed up for the course.
Beautiful. And you'd said that you were struggling with procrastination in your life. How is that procrastination affecting you on a day-to-day basis or showing up for you in your life?
um I typically um leave things for the last minute, and then it's rush, and I've been doing that a long time, and now it's at the point of, it's almost like that's when I do my best work, when
Mm,
I'm under the gun.
mm,
Um, and typically, when I try to do it beforehand, when I first know, I can get some of it done if I'm working on a project.
mhm.
I can get some of it done, but the real work doesn't come together until the last minute.
Okay. And you just said there as well that you immediately enrolled in the course, but prior to signing up to LMA, did you have any concerns that may have prevented you from enrolling in LMA? Did you think, were you skeptical at all? Did you think, like, what am I getting myself into? Or can I afford this? Was there any of those thoughts running through your mind? And if so, how did you put them to one side and step forward and make the decision to be here?
Um, I was not doubtful about um, the course. There was just something earnest and something truthful that really touched my soul when I heard Tim's story.
Mm,
And so there was not a doubt about enrolling. Um, I did have doubts about the money,
mm,
and I did have doubts as to whether I could do this, because I have been suffering with a TBI for over a year now. So concentration and focus is still very hard for me. Even memory
mm,
is hard for me at this point.
mm. And so then what made LMA a good fit for you then? Why was this program a good fit for you in your life, Melissa?
Based on the at the beginning, just based on um, the outline that was set, the promises that the program set forth,
Mm,
to be able to get beyond that, whatever holds me back from true success, or whatever holds me back in my procrastination, to
mm,
be able to move beyond that for the
mm.
first time in a very long time.
Wow. Wow. What would you say surprised you the most or made you the most happiest about this experience at LMA?
I would say that one, I stuck with it. And two, um, I began to see a change
Mm,
right away. I knew the information was good, but I was kind of skeptical as to whether it would truly impact my
Mm.
life. I knew it would influence my life, but would it impact my life?
Wow.
And around week 3, I noticed a shift in uh, mindset.
Mm.
And by week 4, I noticed that I was doing things differently. And I began to ask the question of, instead of what, I started asking myself how
Mm.
I was going to do things.
Wow. And specifically for you, Melissa, what would you say is the biggest shift that you've noticed within yourself from the person you were before this course to the person you are today? What would you say is the biggest benefit that you've experienced for you in your life?
Well, I would say that I am enough. I am enough, and I can do this. I am doing this, and it is a journey.
Wow. And for people that don't know Tim, or they're maybe just coming across Tim's videos like you did, how would you summarize Tim as a teacher, trainer, facilitator? What would you say about Tim?
Oh wow. He does not hold back personally. He doesn't just teach the material. He is invested.
Mm.
He is he lays himself and his story
Mm.
out there. His
Mm.
story is so much a part of what he teaches and who he is today.
Mm.
And it allows you to really connect.
Mm.
Um, Having gone through the live LMA, he's just he's energetic, and he's not someone that's monotone or just giving you a bunch of information. The flipping of the slides, the uh, speed. Sometimes he's slower at with some points than others.
Mm.
Um, you coming on with your exercises and getting us moving and what have you. Um, it allowed to break up the amount of information we were receiving to
Wow.
be able to refocus again and get back in there. And to know that he's not just doing this for money,
Mm.
he is actually doing this to help people to succeed.
Yeah.
And that, I think, resonates with his students.
Mm. Wow, wonderfully put. Thanks for sharing. And just to wrap it up here for today, Melissa, final question for you. What advice would you give to someone other than just do it, just try it? What advice would you generally give to someone who's interested in LMA, but they're maybe sitting on the fence right now and haven't made that decision? What would you say to them, having been a graduate of this course and having gone through it yourself and experiencing what you've experienced? What would you say to that person if they were listening right now?
I would say, um, reach out to your team. And if you have any doubts, if you um, if you are just curious in the least bit, give it a try. It is worth your time. It is worth the money. Um, and once I reached out to your team initially, I was able to work through some of those doubts, those initial doubts that I had, and was able to get on board.